right, thank you so much for still staying here with us. When it comes to issues that arise in business, I don't think it's something you can totally ignore or neglect or say to yourself this would never happen because you're relating with people. So how have you been able to manage conflict resolution? And if you really don't mind, the situations that happened in 2004, 2011, how were you able to handle them, particularly with the individuals involved?
Yeah, there is always a compromising situation, finding the middle way. For me, as an individual, frankly, going to court is the last resort, especially in our own country, where the judicial system take quite a longer time. You never, in UK, business cases to court, you can get it resolved within a week. A date is set, 2 weeks. So it makes sense to say, if you don't agree what we do, let's go to court. But in Nigeria, you have cases in court.
Yes.
I have some cases in court that is a case of infringement on intellectual property that has been in court for 7 years. It hasn't started. No trial has not commenced on it. Sometimes the trial will commence after 2 or 3 witnesses. The judge is transferred. You have to wait for another judge to come, and the case will stay for another 3 years. We have some cases that are 11 years. So by the time you get those justice, it doesn't make sense anymore because you have been dearly punished. The aggrieved ones are the person that suffer most, okay? Because this guy that infringed on our right still continue to import the goods. The case is in court. Interestingly, his lawyer has a way to get the thing renewed. So Nigeria judicial system really need, frankly, completely overhaul, especially with business people. Because these things are part of the thing that cost us, that investors are not coming because no serious investor wants to put in money where he cannot seek redress if he get. So what we have tried to do, because we knew the system very well, is to find a way to, we have an adage in Igbo language, instead of your cow will run away from you, you cut the tail, You don't have a big meat, but you have something. The tail of a cow looks very small, but if you put it together, it's quite some meat in it. But it's not the real thing. So in real life, going to court many times for me is last resort. We would like to, if the person is willing to talk, let's sit down, like the case of the government, At the end of the day, we took the risk off of them, manage it, and it turns out better, much better than we have expected. Okay, so something that started bad eventually turned out good. So we've tried the best we can, even with some staffs and all of those things. We do go to court, but it's a last resort. I solicit and advise people because distractions is not something you want. A good business person needs all his attention. If you get distracted, come for witness today, tomorrow, like I said, it's frustrating going to court for 7 years, for 11 years, for 12 years. You just ask yourself, does it make sense at all? Should we have even started this in the first instance? So sit down, cut your losses and move on with your life and, be a little bit more careful, learn from it, and try to mitigate against it as you move on in life. Yeah.
But I mean, for some people, they would say it's a very tough thing to do.
Sure.
Letting go of, I understand, and I mean, the case that happened with you in 2011 is not one that is, uncommon to the general public, right? It'd be nice if we also know, in terms of how have you been able to resolve, the situation? What's your relationship like with the person in question?
Yeah, the relationship is currently precisely cordial, and cordial in the sense that, of course,
can you take a call from him?
Oh, sure, absolutely. I'm a Christian. That's people. I know this is very strange to the public who knew what happened. If I will ever talk to this person in life, to be very honest, I feel wounded, I feel betrayed, and I feel hurt. But I went to God in prayer several times to heal my heart, to heal me, because it's not about how the person feels. The truth is that I can't pray through until I find a place in my heart to forgive. And one time I was asked of this country. I wasn't even in Nigeria. I was somewhere in Japan. And you see, because sometimes I felt, okay, I've forgiven him. The only thing I don't want anything to do with him and things like that. And then the next time you read newspaper, you hear, police arrest this person. Oh, you want to know.
You want to check.
Some of in your subconscious, you are claiming you have forgiven, but
it's not absolute.
But not absolute. You always wish you could find where
Something
he ran
bad.
into problem. So, and I told myself, please be serious and be honest. You can't truly say you forgive somebody and you want anything wrong to happen to that person. If you forgive, it has to be. So I was praying about 2 a.m. in the night. The Holy Spirit woke me up. Yes.
Wow.
I put up a call to him.
Wow.
He was not available. I spoke to the wife. I said, I want to tell you that this matter is over. And please communicate to your husband, it's over. The Holy Spirit took it off of me from today on. Let's become friends. It's not him asking me, let's move on with our life and let's put this in all of over behind us. And for me, that's it. We meet in a function now, we greet. I was in a flight, I saw him. I was in a business class, he was in a first class. I went to greet him. I wasn't waiting for him to come and greet me. So we are friends. Life has moved on. That's the truth. And I put it behind me. Yep.
And finally, before I let you go, for those people who might have gone through very terrible situations in business, and at this point in time in their lives, they're saying to themselves, you know what, I think I'm done. I need to throw in the towel. What's your advice to them? I
will encourage people not to throw in the towel. Experience is part of your building block. If you really don't have experience, you have no story to tell. Those things are not meant to weaken you. They are meant to strengthen you. It's not the right thing to throw in towel. The darkest part of night is between 4 to 5 a.m., not 12 midnight, frankly speaking, because the darkness is congealed. In the next few seconds, the day will break. So it gets too dark. If you don't understand this, you can get it in the game of boxing. The guy that wins most of the time is the most vulnerable. At his most vulnerable position, he gives an uppercut, and his opponent that has been shining, that has been beating him, is all on the ground, and the man is jumping up. Many times, people give up the last moment of their time of victory, and then they lose it all. I never believe it's the right time to throw in towel. If I tell my story, people will be amazed. I've had in a situation where I couldn't pay house rent. I've had a situation where I was owing landlord in the office. I was owing landlord at the home. Yeah. In real life, not the. In fact, the man that locked up my shop because I was owing him is still alive. He's not dead. So he's still alive. I saw him 4 years ago. Jokingly, I reminded him. He said, "That's the only thing you can remember." I said, "No, I didn't mean it that way, you know." So he thought. So these things stick in my heart. But I recall, he came out of respect. I saw him distantly. I hid in the office and under my show glass. And my boy told him I was not there. He told the boy to come out. He wanted to lock up the place. And to the fact, when I had the door, I just got up and said, "I'm here." I thought he's going to change his mind. He says, "Please come out. Get out of this place and lock up the place." So I had to go and look for money. Until I find money, I had to go repay him for him to reopen my office. So that's really true story about life. So you could have thrown in towel at that point and go look for a job and get a paycheck, but I hang in there. The business goes with up and down, and sometimes gives you that hard trial. Don't give up.
But
It's
it
a
feels
story
like
for you to tell.
For you, felt like there was no other option. There was no, it was either I succeed in this business or I give up.
That's my own position, and that's how you get results. Successful people don't take no for an answer. You negotiate good business by knowing what you want in it. So it was too bad at a time. I had to hawk with a weighing scale in the market, collecting 10 kobo from people. Yes, waiting, and some people were laughing at me. I told them it's very premature. Please don't laugh now. And because there's something about me, when people laughed at me as an individual, some people said, oh, they are mental. No, that's when you fired my zeal for success. Okay, when you laughed at me, you give me a boost, because I want to make you take back your laughter at the end of the day. But some people, I've been emotionally abused. They were laughing at me. When I was talking, they were laughing. No, you excite me with your laughter, because I want to come back to you and know whether you laugh last or me. Yes.
You're not praying for anything to happen to them, because they need to see you succeed.
I want to see them live and succeed. These are people if there are anything at all, I pray for those people, especially to be alive, to see what become of me at the end of the day. So.
But then what if all of these things that have happened has really affected their financial books? Because, for example, I reckon that maybe what happened in 2011 with you, did it affect your financial books? How would they bounce back up?
Yeah, those are why you need to keep some observer in your business. There are, in automobile, there's something we call shock absorber.
Yeah, shock absorber.
The shock absorber help to take every shock that comes from the automobile to keep the car smoothly running. If the shock absorber is not working effectively, when the car enter gallop, you will feel the pain and the weight in your body. Nothing absorb the shock. Every good businessman must keep some shock absorber in his business, something that will absorb a shock, because you must continue to meet a shock as long as you are living on the earth. So we have reserve capital in our business to be able to take such a shock. It was a celebrated case, but I told people then, because in fact, that was when U.S. Exim Bank said, oh, no, this guy run bankruptcy. We will not finance him anymore. That shows you again, that's one of the things people will understand. Many do not know that the bankers are like insurance company. They put umbrella on top of you when the sun was going on. When it started raining, everybody pulled his umbrella and the rain had to beat you hard. Very many people you think that will support you when you have challenges in business, that's when they pull the curtain over you, because everybody is running for safety and think you are vulnerable. But that's also when you need to show a position of strength. Because when Exim Bank pulled down, I said, wait a minute, must we continue to finance our business with this 7-8% in foreign currency? I never went back to them. I was able to refinance my business, not through Exim Bank, at a much lower interest rate from that. So
that actually ended up, what you thought was going to be bad for you actually ended up for good.
In every situation in life, there is an upsetting positive, frankly. And that's what people do not look for. When things went wrong, they only see the bad side of it. But coming from a Christian principle that all things work together for good to them that love God. Romans 8:28. To them who are called according to his own purpose. When anything happens to me, the first question I ask myself, do you still love God? Is your love with God questionable? Is it intact? If it is intact, I just stay at peace with myself, waiting to see the good part of it. Okay, let me say this. The death of my father at very early stage of my life prepared me for who I am. Today. Many things I did, I would not have done if my father was alive. And I'll give you one instance. My father would not have allowed me to marry under 20 if he's alive. Because he would think you are a kid. What are you looking for to do with a lady under 20? And I had to listen to my father. But the death of my father exposed me for taking decisions at very early stage of my life. From 7, I started thinking about for myself, making decisions. Nobody weighed that influence on me. And I knew I have to make the right decision or I am lost for real, because nobody is going to take care of me. So the death of my father, that's supposed to be a negative thing to me, repositioned me, because I knew life gave me no chance and I'm not going to gamble through it. By the age of 15, I was thinking like 35 years old man. It was clear in my mind who I want to be, where I want to go. I wrote them down, not just thinking about them, and start walking towards them. So marrying at 19 was not an accident. I didn't pregnant a girl and marry her. Actually, because my wife, we didn't get children until after 6 years of our marriage, okay? But it was part of my goal that I want to take a wife before I turn 20. I want to have a child by 21, because it's not all your wish and desire will happen. And God knew it would be terrible for 2 babies making baby. And he shut the womb. And it would have been disaster after I run bankruptcy to have had a child. How do I manage to fund supporting that kid? So God sealed that. I wanted to be a millionaire by 25. And I hit my first million at 24. When 1 million naira was good sums of money, not 1 million naira of today. You know, it was almost $2 million. So don't just give up on the things that happen to you. Look in the midst of the worst thing that happened. There's an upsetting positive. There's something good that is going to come out of it. The event of 2011 exposes me to Nigeria. Before then, nobody knew. I was very conservative. I never showed up. I don't even drive good car. And people were like, what?
And
how much are they talking about? It was like, it exposes me the whole world that, oh, this guy wants something. So there are situations that you think is bad, but for something unknown to you, there is an upsetting positive in the midst of it. Nothing is totally wrong. Anything that went wrong, there's something that is right in the midst of it.
I mean, and I think this is a very good place to end this conversation. I like that for you, you've been able to turn everything negative that would have happened in your business to your benefit. And
Absolutely.
I believe this is what a lot of people need to start to learn and implement. Thank you so much, as always, for joining me on Business Insights with Irene.
It's a pleasure, Irene.
Thank you.
Welcome.